Herald-Tribune columnist Doug Fernandes joins me in studio. We're taking over the news desk and making it a sports desk tonight. All right, high school football, we know it's preseason. We know it doesn't count. You were actually out at the Braden River Cardinal-Mooney game. Give me your assessment of that one.
Well, it's kind of tough to really gauge anything because both coaches are mixing and matching and trying different things. Both teams made the postseason last year. Braden River, only the first time in its school's existence. Josh Smithers, the head coach at Mooney, said they'd be growing pains this year. They graduated a lot of seniors, and that was very evident tonight. They lost 29-13. They scored on an interception or a fumble return and did not score again until the fourth quarter. You're watching highlights here of Tevin Bryant, who's the state weightlifting champion. He rushed for 190 yards in a little over or a little less than 3 quarters of play. Had another 54-yard return scoring run callback on a penalty. Mooney's defense had no answer for this guy, outside, inside, and Mooney really couldn't generate much offensively or even stop this guy. So I think Mooney may have a few growing pains early on in this season.
Well, let's talk about a game that took place on national TV. Venice took on Oscar Smith up in Chesapeake, Virginia. You look at this game, it was the first regular season game for Venice. Oscar Smith played a kickoff classic game last week, so they got a game under their belt. Here you have Venice coming in, first game of the season. What do you make of a situation like this, especially the magnitude of a game like this?
Well, I mean, it's a whole separate argument whether I think that these games should be televised nationally. High school kids, there's an argument for and against that. But, I think this is a good measuring stick for Venice. You mentioned they didn't really have any preparation for this game. Traveling all that way, that had to take a lot out of their team. These teams are used to an hour or two bus ride, and this team obviously flew up there and had to get used to unnatural surroundings. But we were talking earlier off the camera about who might be the powerhouse in high school football this year. I think you'd clearly have to put Venice at the top of the list. But after that, there may be a little bit of a drop-off. Manatee will be there. Paul Meckley always has things going at Southeast. Fred Gilmore at Booker. But it may be down here, at least at the beginning part of the season, until the coaches really know what they have.
Yeah, and Venice lost that game 27-13. And, you look at it, how much do you really read into a preseason game? I mean, we talk about NFL games all the time. Right. People don't like it because it's not the real deal. The starters don't remain in there. But unlike high school, their starters remain in there because they really need to see what kind of personnel they have and what they have going forward here.
Well, I think in the case of tonight's game, I was at Braden River, a guy named Tevin Bryant. He's going to be there all year. You can tell this guy, solidly built, a weightlifter. Mooney defenders were bouncing off this guy. So a guy like that, you expect to carry the load for Braden River the rest of the season. Right now, Mooney doesn't have a guy they can depend on. They lost Steve Iruli to graduation, who was the guy who could get 8 yards every time he touched the ball. So they're going to have to find somebody to fill the role that a Tevin Bryant does for Braden River.
All right, he is Doug Fernandes. I am Antawan Smith. We will team up like this every Friday Football Fever night to talk a little high school football. I know you're ready.
Antoine, it's obvious who is a TV guy and who's the print wretched journalism guy.
All right, that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week. See ya.